going to do a speech, the third time, on persuading. Does OSHA effectively protect the safety of our construction workers? Today I'm going to discuss the reasons why I think that OSHA is not effectively protecting our construction workers. Safety is the number one important part of anyone's job. Did you know that in 2006, 1,239 construction workers were killed on the job or died as a result of their injuries? This is according to Bonello and Lobo 2010. During my research, I went to the United States Department of Labor website and pulled up their Construction Safety Excellence Demonstration Program. In this program, it talks about the Construction Safety and Health Outreach Program, and talks about the OSHA Office of Safety of Training and Education. However, it is dated 1996, so it is severely outdated. Some of the items on here talk about requirements, particularly to this program, are as follows. They're extremely confusing to the lay person. For one, the applicant must submit one application covering all essential elements of its safety and health program. Two, the applicant company may designate new or ongoing construction sites for the program. Number three, the 3-year average days away from work injury rate for company employees at all sites managed by the applicant company, and it must be at least 50% below the most recently published Bureau of Labor Statistics. 4, subcontractors at each designated site must demonstrate injury incident rates, lost workdays injury rates, and be below the most recently published rate. And then days away from work injuries rates below at or below 50% of the most recently published rate. And number 5, continuation of the program requires that these rates requirements in the paragraphs 3 and 4 are maintained above those numbers. Not a whole lot about the actual safety. I'm going to pass this around so everybody can see this. Again, it is severely outdated, 1996. There's been new industry standards. There's more safety. There's been more risks. We build higher buildings, taller buildings. 1996 is just way too old to be effective. We all know someone who works in the construction industry, and many of them work in areas that are not safe. For instance, there are those who work on buildings without walls or floors that collapse. Then there are those who work on highways with cars and trucks speeding by them at 60 miles an hour with only a few feet between them. And then there are those who build homes, frame walls, frame rooftops, roofing, and none of them are required to wear safety harnesses at that point. The fact is, OSHA is not protecting construction workers. The problem is there are many construction workers getting killed or hurt every day due to unsafe working conditions. According to Taking Sides, clashing views on economic issues by Bonello and Lobo 2010, falls are the leading cause of deaths in our industry. And this is referring to the construction industry. These falls make up 1/3 of the construction deaths, according to Bonello and Lobo. Workers who walk on iron girders used in skyscrapers have the highest rate of deaths among all other construction occupations, according to Bonello and Lobo. The OSHA 10-hour hazard awareness training is optional, according to their website on the U.S. Department of Labor 2009. Straight from the U.S. Department. It is an optional, not a requirement, and one must become a trainer at this 10-hour hazard awareness training. If a construction worker takes the training, they do not get paid while away from work. And this is according to a personal communication dated 2011. How can we expect these workers to take important training if it is unpaid and not mandatory? And what does this tell our workers? That their companies don't believe in safety, that OSHA doesn't view their safety any more valuable than just having a standard? Construction workers should take mandatory safety training, and then they should get paid to do it. Mandatory safety training should be a requirement not only for the companies, for the job sites, for the people employing the companies to build their construction sites, and also for OSHA. OSHA should provide on-the-job safety training to every employee. The construction company should have mandatory safety training annually, and this should be documented and placed in their file. Workers should be compensated for their training. Telling a worker that they can be compensated to get trained on safety is telling them that safety is not important. OSHA should offer free training to companies, and it should be mandatory. Companies should pay their employees for taking the safety training. What is more important? Human safety is more important. Human safety is more important than the money made on those job sites. Without the workers, you wouldn't have a company, you wouldn't have a job site. Being alive and unhurt is where the wealth begins. OSHA must take some responsibility for their lack of requirements to keep construction workers safe. The 10-hour safety training course should be mandatory and not optional. Companies should also make each employee take safety training, and this should be documented. Those who decide to take a safety training course should not be punished and should be paid for their efforts, because being alive is so much more important. OSHA is not protecting our construction workers effectively. They document on their website is dated 1996. It is extremely outdated. As discussed earlier, OSHA needs to improve and focus on the safety of construction workers. The OSHA training must be made mandatory for all companies and employees. Everyone here has a family member, relative, friend who's in the construction business. They build our roads, they build our homes, they build our places that we go to work in, and they build our hospitals we go to, our clinics we go to. It is important that they're safe while they're at work. Request that your company provide training to all employees. If your company does not have this capability, request that at least one person take the safety training course that is offered by OSHA. This is one way that the entire company can benefit and improve safety for all construction workers. What is so much more important than the safety of our loved ones? Think safe, be safe, work safe.